Aloha, beautifuls, and welcome to the Woman Unleashed online retreat. My name is Amber Kuile Mailani Benici. I am your retreat host, and today is about love. Yes, but not just like the way that you think about love, right? So I know that you have this idea in your head, like what love is, and what self-love is, and bubble baths, but that's not what we're talking about today. Like we're going deep because what I really know is like this online retreat is to help you realign with what's most important to you. And ultimately, it really boils down to you being connected to love. Yeah. So we're going to dive into that before we go all there. Make sure you have your journal, your coloring goodies, beverage of choice. Mia, are you drinking anything today?
I didn't grab my glass. And
So we're not having tea time together then. There's
I
no.
know, and I apologize.
Okay. It's fine. I forgive you because I love you. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So today's going to be one of those days I can already feel the energy. Woo! So let's go ahead and let's dive in. Let's take our 3 breaths so we can get present, so we can get grounded, so you can be open to receive the message you're meant to receive today. And let's do that first. So first, close your eyes with me. I invite you to just notice any energy stuff that's been going on from earlier today that's on your mind. Let's inhale in, exhale and release. Noticing if there's anything to come that you're worried about or you're thinking about that's pulling you from this moment. Come back here, inhale in, exhale and release. And third and final breath, smelling this moment together. And release. And when you're ready, slowly opening your eyes. So I can introduce you to our session guide today. You've already met her because she doesn't have tea, but Mia, let me connect you to Mia Saenz. So Mia is a love alchemist. She is a self-love teacher and a coach. She's a 3rd generation metaphysical practitioner, right? So she learned the wisdom of healing and prayer and all these things from her grandmother. And so she brings like all these aspects of her into her teaching. Yeah. So she's really called to connect to anyone who feels alone but dreams of like really connecting to joy and like being like in a love. I love how she says love soaked life. It's like, oh, I love that. Love soaked life. Like what would that look like, right? So she works, she knows that working through love like changes the energy of your story and opens you up to abundance, to flow, to money, to feeling purposeful. Yeah. So she works with people who want to just like grow in their spiritual path to really build a concrete foundation in all areas. So this isn't just like love, but like we're talking deep stuff here today. So she teaches love mastery, spiritual elite. She works with mystics and their natural gifts. She is also a media host and founder and editor-in-chief of Bella Mia magazine, which is a transformational holistic living magazine. But today, Mia is here with us. So Mia, welcome.
Thank you, Amber. Amber and I have known each other for almost 5 years, and I just love it. We need another hug in person and another lunch date.
I know. It's been a while since we've had our lunch date. That was like in LA a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Mia lives near Disneyland, so that's what we were just talking
Well, I
about.
live near the beach in LA, but we can go to Disneyland too, anybody who wants to come.
Well, LA is near Disneyland
It is. That's right. Well, you know what? When you have to fly 4 or 5 hours to get here, you're right. It's just like it's right across the street almost.
So talking about self-love, like that is like one of the things that makes me happiest is going to Disney.
Yes.
I love Disneyland.
Me too.
So today, one of the reasons I wanted to bring Mia on was I haven't had Mia on in a long time, right? But Mia, it really takes a stand for love. And, it's so interesting because you might think of love, you're like, okay, yeah, love. Yeah, we all talk about love, right? But there's such a way to take it and to like weave it through your life, to look at like, there's love as far as like how you look at yourself, right? How you treat yourself, how you, you know, take care of yourself, right? And that's a direct reflection then of like how you connect with other people, right? And so this is like deep work and, but it's also like the most important work. And so that's why I'm like, Mia, you got to come on because part of being aligned and being in tune with what you want. You have to like love yourself to actually create alignment that feels good. If you are not loving yourself, your alignment's going to be off, right? You're going to be shifted towards somebody else's alignment, right? So, so we're talking love here today. So, yay!
Awesome. You know, it's so interesting because when I'm talking, not just on these, but even with people out in the regular community, we're all basically spiritual or holistic. We want to grow and to improve ourselves. All of us who are here today at the retreat and people that we pretty much have in our lives. Well, actually, some people are just learning to build their spiritual community. So when we're out in the world and we talk about love, what does everybody think? They think that it's a man-woman relationship. Well, it's really the higher divine or God frequency or creator source, whatever you call the higher being that you know as, I'll call it God. That is the relationship of love, right? And it's with ourselves. So, and just here's one quick thing. As an infinite spiritual being, we have these beautiful graces that we were born with into this beautiful body. And so when we can understand all the depths of love, it really is very healing. It raises our emotional intelligence level. It raises our maturity level. And I don't mean the way we look, right? I mean, nobody would even guess my age, except for that I say it all the time, because I do look younger than my age. So what I'm saying is it's not about what maturity, it's not about how old we are. It's about the beauty that shines from within outward. Okay, so love. As we were talking before, as Amber said, that, self-love is not just about the baths and that's called self-care. And if you're doing that and calling it self-love, fabulous. Yay, you, seriously. Because you're on your way to a new path of creating something great for yourself. And as you begin to understand this stuff that we were never taught to love ourselves the way that we know how we can love. And here's just a little example of one example of the depths of love that we need to love ourselves on. You have a child, or if you don't have children and you have a beautiful animal that you love that being so much that you would do anything in the world for it. You would sacrifice your own life for that loved one. That's how you need to love yourself. We get into that depths of healing within all the wounds and traumas that we've had. And yes, they can disappear. I've had a very severe early childhood life, even though I had a fabulous grandmother and, my parents loved me. It was what I've come to terms with about my early childhood. And I'm saying this for you guys because a lot of us have had trauma and it doesn't have to control us. That's why love changes the energy of our story. And one of the tools that works on that very well is the inner child process that you can get on my website. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you guys, this is why you, with your journal and your pens and your crayons, whatever you want to use, take that note, go to my website, download everything that's free, just enjoy it because I have a resource site to help people. And then if you have questions, write me and I can help you. Yes, do I coach? Of course I do. So back to the process. The inner child meditation process is literally about 22 minutes and I take you in and relax you. And what we're doing is we're loving our younger self, our inner child. So as we go into this experience where you listen to my voice and I introduce you to that younger being. If you follow the directions in the video that I asked you to download, what will happen is you are healing these past experiences through love. Everything that you will hear out of my mouth will be, and always about any of the work or even in person in life, is about love. It's about how we can grow to feel and be complete how we want. If you start to think, as if humanity starts to begin to think of love as being the ingredient or the medicinal purpose to changing everything, that's spot on, that's right on, because love is the way in which to move forward. So in this inner child process, you start in at 3 and 4, and the directions will tell you that we work on from 3-year-old to 17, 18, and we go in and we do 3 and 4, 5 and 6. We start with the odd years. We do 2 years at a time. And you just allow to come forward what comes forward in that time. If an 8-year-old appears to you, be with her or him, if there's a gentleman watching this, be with that little being, because there's a story there that's coming up to be healed. The energy is processing. And I suggest that you do this at least once a week for as long as you need. The reason I don't ask you to go in and do this sooner than once a week and really no later than once a week, it's just once a week, is because we have to integrate and absorb all the stuff that's coming through. In that process, there's so much healing that your body and your whole psyche, your body, mind, and spirit is going to need to have time to process it. So this is part of the self-love thing too, is we need time to process everything that we have within us that we're doing. This is why meditation or quiet time is so vital to us. It just really lights us up, because when we can get still and with ourselves, what comes forward is magic. Absolutely. There's another process that I would like to share too. And
before you share that process, I just want to just jump in real quickly, Mia. The piece about I just really want to emphasize what you said, because that's really profound, right? The time to process, and not just time to process. It's like we're in a state of doing so much all the time, but the state of being is necessary. There have been so many studies that show that that's necessary for healing. It's necessary for growth. It's necessary for productivity. Like even being creative, like if you're constantly doing, like your creativity, it goes down. So it's like that ingredient, you're talking about the love ingredient, but the ingredient of space and of integration is like, so like, yes.
It's really vital for anything. You know, as you are studying through your school years and your college, what do you have to do? You have to understand the information and have it settle into you, right? More or less. You think, oh, I just have to read it and remember it. Well, the remembering process is the integration process. So as you are working through this stuff, all of the self-love stuff, do be gentle with yourself. And I say that with the most sincere love. When we are gentle and relax into it, or we call it surrender, what happens is things open up. So life is not a racehorse. These experiences are not about how fast you can get through the process, because you could be missing one of the biggest diamond jewels ever within yourself that could make your life explode into greatness. And it's just really, really beautiful to take that time. I actually absorb and integrate probably a couple hours a day, literally. I sit there to process things. Now, that may sound crazy to some people, but that's where I get this is why I can do so much in my work, and why I can be and do so much, because I'm present in the moment and everything is moving forward. As you begin to live your life and create it where you are present in the moment, you're in that love space and you're in that awareness. What happens when you're in the present moment? You can manifest because you're in action and you're not thinking about the past. You're not thinking about the future. You're right here now. You can create so much right here. You can be present with your loved ones. You can be present with yourself. You can get out of anger and stress because you are present. And I love that you brought that up, Amber, because I might not have mentioned that too, because that's really, I might not have elaborated on it, which is very important. People do not understand that they're doing a great job. Just be patient with yourself and loving and gentle. So the mirror work, yay. The mirror work for some is very scary. And so I have a free book for you, and then I also have free stuff on my website, as Amber will have me share later. But I want you to know that as you go through this, not only is the video telling you the directions too for that, but it's also in the book. The inner child work is not in the book. You get some other great stuff in the book, like Dream, Believe, Create Your Life. Beautiful stuff. So the mirror work. We have, those of us who believe in incarnation and reincarnation, we believe that our soul presence comes in and out of different experiences. And so the greatness of this is we say, I love you to the mirror. We don't say, I love you, Mia, because what I'm doing is I'm identifying with just this. I'm connecting to my soul. So this work is so powerful and so deep. When we do our self-love work on a spiritual level, we literally are cracking open this shell that has been around us our entire life. Do you know what that is? It's so many things. It's being told that we're ugly or we're not important, that we're not valuable, or being touched in an inappropriate way, having bullies pick on you, feeling like you're not the smartest, not the prettiest, not the wisest. These are lies about you. These are not who you truly are. So we build up this thing called, I can't even think of it at the moment, but our body becomes so rigid and so hard, we don't allow things in. So guess what also we're doing? We're not allowing our soul presence to do what it wants to do. So we're cracking away that shell by bringing in the love connection to our essence of who we are. So when you're looking in the mirror and you say, I love you, you may have some crazy reactions, and it's okay. Write them down in your journal. And we keep track of stuff, because all learning, and especially the mystical spiritual learning, is learned in hindsight. And then hindsight becomes foresight. We learn by tracking and following our patterns. We learn what's coming in the future. We know how to shift and to move quicker. It's really cool stuff. So as you connect with that love work, even the I love you, simply I love you. If you cry, it's okay. You can even ask yourself why, what's coming up. But remember to be gentle. The first time I did this, everyone, and it's probably on the video, it was put up years ago. I can't even remember what I exactly said on it. I know it's just great. But I literally looked in the mirror when I said, I love you, and I started crying, and I said, no, I hate you. And I felt like a liar. I felt like a betrayer. And then I started doing something really strange. I remember I was 24 years old, and I wrapped my arms around myself, and I started to hug myself to self-soothe. I'd never done that before. Nobody ever told me to do that. Nobody ever told me to look in the mirror and say, I love you. You know, all of this stuff has come from just listening and meditating my entire life and praying and doing healing work. And so as I've grown this into teaching others over the last 10 years, what I've discovered is a lot of my stuff integrates with other people's stuff too. So what that tells us is what? We're oneness. We have one common thread of consciousness. And we all have this experience within us. It's just opening that channel, that flow, that energy space in order to receive. And why people don't receive information like that or answers to their prayers as they say, I pray and I'm not getting an answer. It's because you're not in the present moment. You're not in the now, and the listening skills are not developed. When you're in the now in quiet, your listening and your output skills become very defined. They're very beautiful. So just be patient with yourself. You guys are doing fine, great. People think that because they're looking into self-love work, that something's wrong with them. Okay, first of all, you got to get rid of that doubt that something's wrong with you, because nothing is wrong with you. We just were not taught, because our parents were not taught how to love ourselves. So this is a beautiful experience to connect to yourself. So any questions on any of that stuff, you guys can write and ask as well. Yes, Amber.
So I have,
She's so cute, isn't she? I love her.
I think it'd be good to drop into why is self-love important? Because here's what I'm thinking. Like when you're talking, it's like, okay, we're talking about healing, right? Mm-hmm. And self-healing as far as like inner child work, mirror work, you know, giving ourselves time to integrate that healing through journaling and, you know, meditation or time to process like that. I'm hearing the importance of all that in order like to crack open the shell. You're talking about that, but like what do they actually get from it? So like that, I'm hearing those people who are like, yeah, self-love, but like
get from it.
I mean, do you know what I mean? It's like people like, so yeah. I know what they get.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know you know. That's why I'm like, she's so
That's
cute.
why you're here, right?
What you gain from it is,
or here's maybe another question is, if you're not self-loving, like how does that show up in your life? You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to, yeah, perfect. And the book shows that in the Mirror book that you guys is your free gift. And I suggest everybody download it because it's fabulous. I literally take you through a life that is dysfunctional and doesn't love you back, and then I show you a life that does love you back. So what does a life that loves you back mean? It literally means that you are expressing everything that you want to have in your life, and guess what? It's flowing right back to you. So there's love, there's patience, there's harmony. You know, in life, we have a lot of chaos and dysfunction. We think that that's normal. Let me tell you, it's not. Because we were raised a specific way. And so those of us who have had trauma, and most of humanity has had trauma in one form or another, Trauma produces drama. We have to stay in that moment because we're feeling maybe for the first time in ages, we're feeling something, we want to be alive. So we keep bringing up, shit. I don't know what I can say and what I can't say on here, but we bring up our own shit.
We'll do like the beep, well, beep. Just kidding.
And recently I've started talking about that we are trash men, literally. And I love that because we take the garbage that's within us that isn't really who we are, our old belief system, and we clean it and process it and filter it and put it back out. So what this work does is it literally changes the dynamics of who you are. Along with this, your belief system begins to change. And there's information on my site too about changing your belief system. I call it busting beliefs because literally, our belief systems are formed from the moment we are born, and they're not even our own. We get our belief systems from our parents, our grandparents, our family, friends, parents, church, government, society, magazines, TV, video games. We get all of this from this obsessive packing in of energy towards us, and it's not us. I know that when I was little, my mother was incredibly she was a bigot. I guess that's the word. I can't even think of the right word. And yet she was married to a very dark man. My dad was a contractor, and he was an outdoor contractor on all the streets in LA. His company paved when I was a child, or before I was even born. Very, tan skin. And so when I think about this, I was raised as a bigot, but I wasn't, because even on the playgrounds, I used to get in the way of bullies on the playground and say, "What are you doing? Stop that." And they would say, "Well, they're a Mexican." We're in California. We're all Mexicans here. I'm half Mexican. And so I would stand in front of them and I'd say, "I'm Mexican. Are you making fun of me?" And they would say, "Oh, no, and you're not." And I'm like, "Well, Saenz is Spanish. It is." Once you get a little bit of American Indian or Mexican Indian blood in you, you're Mexican. So the point is that I saw this bigotry and this hatred for humanity, and I fought really hard as a child against that. When I call myself a warrior, it's not anything negative. It's that I literally have pulled apart all the abuse that was placed in my life to turn it around so that I could live a life where I could function fully. My siblings and I were told, my sisters was told first, and then I was told when I finally started seeking that type of therapy, that us children should not have even survived the childhood that we had with my mother. So my point is I understand trauma to the core. I understand physical, mental, sexual, and emotional abuse. So what that means is if we understand who we truly are and shift the way that we think about things and change the energies of these stories, we are functioning at a higher level. We're raising that little inner child, that love being of who we are, with support. Even if we go back into a story in a meditative process, you're changing the energy of how it played out. You're there to support that little child. I never would have gotten through, and I'm only going to say a few things, and don't write me and say poor you, because there is no poor me. I've gotten through to the other side. And this is why I share this, is so you guys can too. Whether it was, I used to get beaten and locked in closets. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. My Girl Scout leader's husband abused me sexually for 6 years. So all of these things have been healed within me. I can talk about it without busting out crying. And it's not that I don't care or love myself. I love myself deeply, that I supported that little beautiful being of who I was as if she was my own daughter. And nobody taught me how to do this again, except for that it was a download. And now I use it out in the world, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people have been healed with this. So the chaos and the drama doesn't have to be in your life, because as you move forward, there's a stillness that comes. We are in our solar plex, and those of you who are energy workers and those of you who want to know how to do this, I'm going to take you through this little process. So I want you to just start breathing in deep. The way I do breath work is, and there's another breath work that I want to teach too that will support you, but the way I generally do breath work when I'm doing meditations or the miracle energy healing process, which I go into the body and I start to clear away stuff, and I can see where people have had, I can see where cancer is and things in the womb and stuff like that. So as we go in, we just clear it all away. So I breathe in words that support us. So follow me, okay? Let's do this together. So let's breathe in and close your eyes and relax. Let's breathe in clarity. Breathing in really deep. Push it down through your diaphragm to your lower belly and watch this beautiful golden wave remove anything that isn't clear on the exhale. Beautiful. Let's breathe in wisdom and push it down through the diaphragm to the lower belly and exhale anything that isn't wise in your body. Now let's pull in divine love and let's breathe that in through all the cells in our body. Push it down through the diaphragm to the lower belly and exhale slowly. So I'm seeing this experience that I want to take you through, and it's just a short one. I'd like you to, just with that, to just imagine that you've come through this beautiful field of flowers. You've walked through a forest. You're very calm. You're getting more and more relaxed. And you come upon a meadow out of the forest. And there's this little cabin or a small castle or a little house. Whatever comes to you right now, imagine that as your sacred space where no one can enter but you. And you go up to the door and you stand there for a moment as you're allowing the Christ-like of you graces to move through and everything else to stay out. And you feel this warm light on the top of your head, and it's coming down over your head, around your temples, down your face, around your neck, the front of your chest and breast, down your back, your arms, over your tummy and your bum, down your legs and your feet. You're feeling very light, very relaxed, very loved, and very peaceful. And you open that door and you go in. And all that's there is one big room for you. This is your safe place. This is your sanctuary. No one is allowed in there. And I'm going to say this again. No one is allowed in there but you and your inner child. And as we enter and close the door, we see that straight ahead from the door, there's a chair. It could be a wingback chair, or you could imagine your favorite comfortable chair. So keep that chair right there. Off to the left, above a fireplace, there's a beautiful picture. Whatever is your most favorite artist or image or colors, just put that there. And then to the right is a desk that supports the work that you do as you're a grown-up, and you feel secure. So go sit in the chair. Now we're going to bring forth, and it can be any age, we're going to bring forth our younger self. And as she appears, and since this is for women primarily, we're going to just go with women here. And as our younger self comes towards us, she may be timid. She may not be very excited to see you because she is, at that age, she was frightened. And so we're going to teach her, integrate her, show her the love that she never had before in her entire life. That deep connection to self, to center, to the divine. Now bring her into your lap and just put her there for a few moments and hug her. She's so beautiful. And tell her what you want to tell her. Tell her how much you love her. Perhaps maybe even you were frightened too, but you're here to support her. And if you need to turn this off and pause it, just pause it and then turn it back on when you're ready to move forward. And as you're connecting with this younger being, this first time in to the inner child process may just be connecting to her. There may not be a storyline that comes through to be healed, and that's okay. Just love her. And on the recording, you'll find that there's other things that I have you do, but right now, it's just connecting to you. Look at her face. Give her a hug. We're going to start to come out of this. So let her know, talk to her, and tell her that you are coming back very, very soon. that you're going to come back to spend time together, to show each other how to love deeper, to be there for anything that's fearful. You are the support system. You are now the adult, and she is still the little child. You may even want to get on your knees in front of her and just give her a hug. Maybe even give her something that would support the younger you until the next time you see her. A picture of your grandmother, both of your grandmothers, a beautiful kitten, a teddy bear, a flower. Whatever stirs your heart, give to her. Have her hold it until you come back. Now reassure her that you are coming back, and you will have a great time with her. Growing, you will never leave her again. All right, it's time to say goodbye, give her a big smile, and then walk to the door. And she disappears. She's waiting for you for the next time. She's gone. Okay, go out that door, close it behind you, look up to the sky, feel the air, smell deep. Give your gratitude, and let's go back through that beautiful meadow, into the woods, through the woods, into the tall grass, and back to the chair you're sitting in. When you're ready, please open your eyes and join me. Wow, that really touched me. That was fun. So this inner child process is shorter and a little bit different than the other one. Your mute's still on, Amber. Did you want to ask something?
No, I don't. I just really touched me. Yeah.
It's really beautiful. And what we're doing in the inner child process is we're raising our emotional intelligent level, which is amazing, right? Because we are not emotionally evolved or mature until we do this. What are emotions? They're those things that keep us trapped in any type of, we don't make the connection until we do, but any type of behavior that does not support us in going forward further. It's about not being able to break your awareness away from somebody that you're just dead set in love with and they're not returning your love. It's the awareness of, I may be having an extra glass of wine tonight or even a glass of wine because I need it. It's okay. Be aware of why you need it. This is why people create, alcohol, drugs, gambling, sex addiction, whatever. It's because the emotional problem is with, the emotional issues with us, and it needs to be elevated and healed. And that's the beauty, because when we are emotionally evolved is when we can communicate in such a beautiful way and be happy and flow in grace, literally in grace. And when I say flow, I literally mean you're moving around feeling amazing about yourself, and people see it as well. So it's a beautiful process in order to grow who we are, in order to love more deeply. So as you see, love is not just about relationships, it's about us. And then we get to turn that around because we understand how valuable we are in our journey, that we honor someone else's just as much as us. Like maybe that mate that's not crazy about you anymore and that doesn't want to have any contact. It's okay. You are amazing, and you are going to bring in another amazing person. So all of these elevate up, and we want to change humanity and have unconditional love. This is absolutely the way we will all grow. One day when my mission is to put out work so that it can follow me after I'm gone, and humanity can change to the point where there will not be any countries with borders and wars, and governments will be one globe, one nation, with the state of Africa, the state of America, the state of Argentina. This is what we want to grow into. We want to be a conscious, loving planet.
I love it. It's like you were like, we start like really here, then you're like, oh, like, beautiful. I think that was so interesting because I feel like the inner child, like even just looking at self-love, like I know that my emotional intelligence gets tested like when my husband and I, like if I get into some sort of an argument and then I'm like, I get like in my pissy thing and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like a 12-year-old kid, right? Like it's like that's it when you're talking emotional intelligence age, right? That's how it can show up. Like in work, if someone's like, something's not going the way you want, right? I'm thinking about self-love. It's like self-love is what gets you being able to communicate with people that you love more deeply, that not letting like minor things like hold you up at work or with your partners or with your kids, not getting involved with your kids like drama, like letting them trusting that they're letting their stuff go through. Self-love is all about also for you like tapping in and being taking care of your body, not needing to punish yourself, not needing to like self-medicate because you can't handle those feelings that are going on, that you're like gaining weight. It's self-love is about if you're creating your artwork and like finally feeling like, okay, I'm going to put it up and go to a gallery and like put my stuff out there, or getting your book written, like this is all self-love. So
the growth of us as individuals is self-love. That's exactly what you said. It is self-love. It is who we are, and it's our journey to love more and to love deeper. It's beautiful.
So ladies, I would love for you to share in the Facebook group, like I'm inviting you rather to share your journey of what, when you went to the cabin and some of your experience with your little girl, if you want to share some of that. Or you can also share like where in the area, like where in your life you feel like, oh, this is where I need to put my attention, right? My healing attention for my self-love. And so we'd love for you to share in the Facebook group. And then Mia, like I know that we went through, there were some awesome things that you shared with us as far as our healing, how to take on this healing. You talked about inner child work, mirror work, journaling for integration. And like shifting some of those old beliefs. But I know that we've already mentioned a little bit, but I would love for you just to go into a little bit more of like what we're doing or what you're offering for people as like a healing vehicle for their self-love.
Oh, and I also said about another breathing technique. Can I just do it really fast?
Oh yeah, that's right. You said something about
I'm so sorry, guys. This is really powerful. This is very shamanic, and it's really beautiful. So there's a method of 4 count, 7 count, or 10 count. So let's start with 4, and you can move up to 7. You don't necessarily have to do 10 unless you love to work on your lungs like I do. So you're going to do 4. There's 4 sets of 4. So there's breathe in, hold, exhale, hold. So on the spaces where we're not breathing in and we're holding, we can hold our breath for 4 seconds, right? Because it's in us, or count of 4. But when we exhale, we think, oh, we can't breathe. You will be amazed at how magnificent your body works. So let's do that on the count of 1. 1, 2, or 3, 2, 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Be breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now your breathing should be lower. You should be calm, and you should feel that. So you can do that several times, any time of the day, to center and ground yourself. It's very important. It's beautiful.
Thank you for sharing that. It was funny. You're counting like, wait, where am I? Am I breathing in?
Usually I do it with people. I'm breathing in. 1, 2.
And you're talking at the same time, yeah.
1, 2, 3, and then I exhale. 1, 2. So I just thought I would do it for you.
I love that. So 4, and then counts of 7, and then into 10. Yeah.
Yes, you can expand your lung capacity and your relaxation and all that. It amazes us when we understand. So self-love is also body love. It's appreciating and honoring the body and understanding it. So as we grow into that, we can see the expansion of even just our lungs, that we think that we don't have any more air and that we're going to die. We're not. There's so much there. When you lower who you are at like the energy level and just be in that state of it's so beautiful. You can live within that. See, I'm not saying don't breathe ever because we need the oxygen. Our body, see, this is what pushes it through and almost recirculates our blood as we move. And so our brain is starting to work. Our body is feeling amazing. And you had asked about the free gift, right? Should I do that?
Yes, do the free. Before you jump in, I just want to say that that is such a powerful experience. So if you are feeling like, if you feel triggered, if you feel like that you like tap into an age where like you're not like in your empowered woman state, you're like you're a young girl or teenage bratty or whatever, wherever you're going, like that is going to help connect you back in. Yeah. So
Yeah, beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
share your free gift.
Okay, so the free gift is Mirror Mirror, a step-by-step guide to a life that loves you back, and it's my ebook on my site. And I take you through, you're going to hear about my journey and how I sabotaged myself. We all have a saboteur and an inner critic, and it's about removing that. And you'll see where I took my life back. I was literally dying, and I took my life back with my saboteur, and I was like, no, I'm going to move forward. So it's beautiful because you see the experience of a life that is not calm and then a life that is. Then there's processes in there. The Dream, Believe, Create, which was my very first process, which brought me into this life that I'm in today. And then there's the mirror work that's in there. There's also something called Deep Pockets. It's fabulous. So, as we go along as these spiritual beings and we're getting elevated and we're like, wow, things are so smooth. And then all of a sudden something happens and you're knocked on your ass. So whether it's a car accident, a fight, whatever, and you're like, oh, I've fallen and I can't get up. And I'm not making fun of anybody because I've done this for years, right? So it's like you've fallen and you can't get up, or you stay in there for like 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 years. This is how to allow yourself a specific time to heal on it and move forward. I give myself an hour or wake up the next day changed, literally. I don't want to process too long on trivial stuff that we can move through. Now, if somebody died or something like that, you're going to be like, a week? Just a week? I was going to say, allow yourself a week, but then start your healing process, because I've had this year alone, 5 people have died since October or since the beginning of November in my family and friends. And I know what it's like to have loss. I've had loss my entire life. And it's not that I don't care. It's that I've grown to the state where yes, I feel it, I hurt, but they're on their own journey and their own process forward. And so this is something that's really beautiful for us to know. This is part of the love process because we're releasing because we love them. There's just so much great stuff to go on about, but I just look for videos, places, and check out the website.
Perfect. So right below here is the link for Mia's free gift. And then you'll also notice her bios below. And so you can go over to her website, check out. I know you have the inner child meditation there too. You have some great free resources. So check it out. Let's do our healing work, ladies. Imagine the power if you really, truly loved yourself. Imagine what you would do differently. I'm going to leave you with that, ladies. So thank you so much, Mia. All right. And see you at our next session. Aloha, ladies.